Hello, my little weirdos, my fellow weirdos. It is Saturday, and it is 4 p.m. I want to talk to you guys about effective protesting. So I've written something out that I'm in the midst of trying to get all on a graphic. The protesting so far has been picking up momentum, and some of the signs are fabulous. Some of the signs are just beyond, and that's what I wanted to discuss. I'm 62. I grew up watching, because I wasn't old enough yet, watching the hippies protest. There aren't many generations after my generation that I'm aware of that really saw firsthand America protesting, like nationally, from coast to coast protesting. I mean, we've had protesting a company or, a blackout or something like that, but not full on in the streets, millions of people protesting the government. That has not been in decades and decades, which means y'all, a lot of you haven't really firsthand seen what American protests look like, and other than, of course, recent, the BLM, obviously. But that's what I'm saying. Until then, and some of those we had some individuals, let's put it that way, that got carried away and obnoxious about it, and turned it from a peaceful protest to something less than that. That was not the majority by any scope of the imagination. But we did have a select few here and there, different protests that were jackwads about it, and were just taking their revenge kind of thing, and not necessarily protesting the principle of the situation. That is a no-no, protest. So number one, no. Never do something to hurt property or people. You're not supposed to be blocking, but that's a different story. People would lay down in the road. What are you going to do? Even the military won't, well, up until this time, wouldn't just drive over you. Even the National Guard wouldn't drive over people in the roads. And they would lay down from one end of the road to the other, just laying there, like they did in the Lion at the Redunda with the grave markers. They were just there, and they didn't resist. They had to be physically moved. They would have to be dragged off the road, but they weren't gonna fight them per se and start that. But that's good civil disobedience. The cop has to, or the National Guard have to get out of their vehicles and personally drag you. And it's not that easy when somebody's just all stiff or somebody's all limp and you're trying to drag them off. When they're just not helping but not protesting, you're going to have to get me off the road because I'm not going to leave myself, type of thing. But that leaves an image in your mind. So I'm going to put my glasses on now, and I'm going to read a little. I've written this. Okay, we saw the hippies. They sat in, they stood up, they spoke out, they burned their bras, they chained themselves together as hostages or prisoners, however they identified themselves, signs, and they made noise. They made noise. They chanted. They did a simple little dance step, just 2 steps over, 2 steps back. Anything, or 2 steps forward. That's how they marched, or something like that. Just something that gives the movement, that gives the cameras something. Oh wow, what's going on over there? And you have to read the sign to find out what it is that particular people are protesting. You see what I'm saying? Music, humans respond to it. They're going to look. We'll get to other things. Okay? I have a couple chants. If anyone wants to learn, one is very easy. Energy, that brings energy. Like simple dance steps and the music and a chant. It brings that energy. And the more you say it, the more the other people get the words and they start doing it. It's like a ripple effect down the protest. So think about that. Because a lot of these protests right now, they're not marching. Once we get to an area, you're standing. So how about a dozen or so of you that came together in a group or something? How about you do that little thing? It just has to be like 2 steps over, 2 little steps back, and then 2 steps forward. 2 steps over, 2 steps back, a little forward as you walk. You see what I'm saying? I mean, you're like, oh, that's just stupid, G. But it's not stupid when a whole entire throng of people are doing it. All right. A group of people in chicken costumes, all holding signs saying, Republican Congress. That gets a camera's attention, those big yellow chicken outfits. And Republican Congress, make those signs so they can read them, not just a single, go over them. Go over them. Make them blatantly obvious. Bunch of chickens that says Republican Congress. Oh, dude, because the Republicans in the Congress are the ones who can stop this, like today. Agree with the papers, the impeach ones. Yeah, it's not that hard. So, make them uncomfortable. They're making us uncomfortable by letting him do this. Several or dozens dressed in handmaids outfits. All with, you have to have a sign though. All with signs about women's rights. Regulate guns, not uteruses, hands off my vagina. You know what I'm saying? Things that are you're like, oh, Judy, oh my God. It's a body part. That's the point. You got it. If that was your reaction, oh, vagina on a sign? Bingo! You're starting to get it. You're starting to get it. If one of the news places decides they block that part out in your sign, most people are going to look at other coverage on other stations to see if they can see what that sign says. You want people doing that. Don't get rude and disgusting, but saying things like, I'd call Donald a cunt, but he lacks warmth and depth. Oh. Or, hey Elon, grab him by the testicles. Those are spicy and naughty, but they're not bad. They're not going to get you in trouble, but they're going to get the, ooh, they said vagina. Because Republicans are so childish when it comes to sex and genitals. So, believe me, every time, do you know that every time the RNC has a convention, the Grindr app, wherever they are, crashes? Yeah. Methinks thou protest too much, O Republicans who are closeted gays or bis. My. I wonder, does Nancy Mace really want to be a man? And that's why she's so vicious to trans? Well, the trans one is prettier than Mace, but, Bride is prettier, but that's her problem. A group of older folks like me, and if they have walkers or wheelchairs or something, use them. And Everybody in that group has signs pertaining to Medicaid, Social Security, that kind of thing. And maybe laws in their state or something that disenfranchises older people, something like that. That brings attention because it's everybody with the same beef, you know. I like this one. Group of people, either one each or a few of each, but some are the Statue of Liberty, some are the scales of justice, and some are gaffles, showing that all three houses of government are equal, and none of them overshadows the other. They exist together as a group. Yeah. And of course, they hold signs about justice, and you know, the deportation signs can be with that group, and you know, talking about a melting pot, those kind of laws that disenfranchise people of color, that type of stuff. A group of veterans with signs just all about the veterans' rights that have been stripped away and been threatened to further be. Now, this last group, if anybody is a person of color or in the LGBTQ plus community, don't push them or convince them this time, right now, not right now, to protest, because they are the vulnerablest. Is that a word? The most vulnerable among us right now. Not only that, but both those groups have been fighting for decades already for their right to just fucking exist with equality. Okay? This is a fight that right now more white people need to be stepping up for the moment. Because right now what he's concentrating, once we get the courts and get him to stop all this illegal deportation, where they at least, I mean, it's at least at this point, just imprison him here and let them until they have court. And just put him in jail. You know, I mean, that's far better than just disappearing them, for God's sake. But right now, it isn't okay for those groups to be out there raising their fists. We need to be doing this with them. No. No, you please back. You know, you take your swing at me, damn it. You know, type of thing. Because God knows they've been putting their heart and soul into this effing country probably all their lives. It's time for us to get back to those vulnerable groups now. It's long past time. You want to spread these groups out in the crowd. Don't let them all cluster around, because the point you're trying to get is you want them to see how many turned out to each protest, correct? The only way to get that done is to have cameras or copter, you know, scanning from one side to the other to show the amount. How are they gonna want to do that at all the different protests? Because they're like, oh, they all look the same. Exactly. Make it so they can't say, oh, well, they're just saying that's in Chicago and that's in Portland, Oregon, and that's in New York City, but they're all the same protest from different angles. You don't want them to do that, right? You want them and mainstream media so they tell the world, oh, no, that is not true. Because look, you see what I'm saying? So if you have some people like the veteran people, and you got the chickens, then you got, you know, some of the old people, and then you got like the handmaids with the women's tails, and then you've got, you know, all the different types of pride flags, the autism flag and the ADHD flags, and all the disability type of things, people, whatever they're doing, you know, you have those throughout the crowd. The red handmaid's tales, the yellow chickens, bright color, something that you've seen my other shirts. I have like 4 shirts, 1 tank and or 3 tanks because the summer coming, and 1 short sleeve that I call my my protest shirts. They're those bright colors, like the Lisa Frank looking stuff, the hippie looking, you know, like the big sunflower with all the different bright neon color type of stuff. Dude, that is so me anyway. I mean, you see my freaking art on the wall. Okay? You want the camera to cover the entire protest, even if it's a quick perusal. If you have that spread out throughout the crowds, to get all of it, they're going to need to do a quick pan. That does 2 things. One, it shows how massive it was. Actually, it does more than that. 2, it shows extremely how massive it was, because you can see the groups, and then you'll start to see, oh, that's like 20 people in chicken costumes, just an example. And then you realize, but they look like a little, just like a quarter. Oh, wow, like a quarter on the map. Wow, that means there's a lot of people. Okay? Second of all, it makes people feel like there's a lot of people upset. I probably should start looking into everything, because there doesn't looks like a lot of people are upset about a lot of different things. That's it. Because one of those categories is affecting somebody, most of us. Okay? That's the point of that. The other thing it also does is it does not let Republicans lie and reinforce that lie when they're interviewed on stations that have showed the protests. They can't say it was all just from different angles, the same 1 or 2. Because you'll see, oh, no, those have different chicken costumes. Or no, I see a bunch of, oh, what about, I saw somebody made out of PVC, a frame, and just fabric for the blades, made like a guillotine, painted it like looking like blood, and once they got someplace they could sit it down, but you have everybody in like choir robes, like judges. SCOTUS will get that. Okay? This is the type of things also they cannot deny and say it's the same one if your signs are feisty, if they're different, if they're original, or even if it's the same saying the way you wrote it. I'll get to this in a minute. Make clothing bright. You hearken to the hippie days, that because people hear the music. That's, like I said, the music, you know, people hear music and look, even if it's just a 2-step, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2. It doesn't matter. You're moving and there's music. You can even be chanting, you know. When do we want democracy? Now. Anything like that. Now, I guarantee you, we're always bitching that Congress is frickin' old on both sides. They will understand, a lot of them. And even the younger ones that know what's happening, AOC and stuff, they will totally understand these hippie tactics. Because I'm telling you, they chained themselves together. They sat in tree houses for months. They did stuff. Civil disobedience, necessary. Get into good trouble, get into necessary trouble. That means no violence, but sometimes you have to put your body on it. Now, women and guys, there's something called